Hello again, everybody. It's Scott Casper, Takedown Wrestling. We continue our coverage of the sport, going coast to coast, border to border. This week, we stop in Whitewater, Wisconsin. They've hired a new wrestling coach at UW-Whitewater. The institution announced that on Monday, August 25th. And it's Ned Shuck, former Iowa Hawkeye. And he begins his tenure after serving as the head coach at Heidelberg University, having enjoyed some success there as well. He was the OAC Coach of the Year just last year. He joins us now. Ned, how are you?
I'm doing great, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Hey, you bet, man. Congratulations on the success. I remember you at Iowa back from 2000 to 2004 or 5. And that's a tough lineup to crack, but you were always that guy that got the letters. You were always that academic guy, seemingly, one of those student athletes that can rise above the noise, as it were. And then you did so as a coach, too. Let's talk a bit about the success you had at Heidelberg.
Sure, yeah. It was a great experience for me at Heidelberg. We had a pretty young team going in, and I know they're going to have some continued success for years to come. But we got that team going, got it turned around here. I was there for 3 years, and had quite a few of our guys get into the national tournament. And as a coach, you always want more, and always expect more out of the guys. But winning the conference tournament 2 years out of my 3 years was great, and it was a great experience. But success academically, like you mentioned before, I mean, that was an important part, getting us, academic All-American status and all that. So we had a lot of successes, but I'll miss the guys there, but excited to be here at Whitewater.
So how did the whole UW-Whitewater job come about? Amy Edmonds doesn't just call out of the blue, or does she?
Yeah, well, the job actually opened up pretty late. Timing probably could have been a little bit better in terms of landing a new coaching position, but this was an opportunity for me that I just couldn't pass up. And when it got posted, I threw my stuff in there, and it just kind of turned out from there and worked out really well. But we just got hired, I think 2 weeks ago officially, so it's been pretty crazy.
Most coaches will agree, I'm sure, that one of the problems they don't want to have is academic challenge. In other words, challenge from outside the room. Yep. You obviously were able to overcome that as an athlete yourself, and then doing so as a coach at Heidelberg. How important do you feel the academic success that's trailed you, that you've made happen both as a coach and an athlete? How important do you think that was to your new director of athletics, Amy Edmonds?
I think it's very important. Yeah, they're looking for coaches that want to bring their guys through the academic system, get them graduated in 4 years. Get them out of here on time and get them into careers that they want to be in, for the rest of their lives. And so, the academic piece is huge. Obviously, Division III model, really stresses that, and it's something that I like. I really enjoy about being a coach at Division III, as the focus is on academics, and like I said, we want to get people out of here in 4 years and make sure they're taking care of business in the classroom and setting themselves up for success in the future.
So if we go from Heidelberg and take a step back from Heidelberg, we find ourselves in Augsburg. You were there from 2009 to 2011.
Yep.
And there's some incredible people there, obviously, that not only understand this sport, but also I think are pretty good at teaching what they know so you can be successful. Let's face it, you manage the academic performance, the fundraising, the marketing, the camps, the alumni relations and community service, everything that goes into running a business, as it were. Yep. You put into a wrestling program. How important was your time at Augsburg to your success, do you feel?
I think it's really important. Before that, I was coaching high school for 4 years in Minnesota, and that was kind of my first transition into coaching at the collegiate level. And being able to be a part of a program like that was an extremely valuable experience. Being under guys like Jeff Swenson and having him around, you can't replace that experience. And even all the coaches that I was involved with, having a guy like Jim Mosloff, who's just announced coach there, and Jared Evans and Mark Matzik and all the other assistants that we worked with. It was a great experience for me, and something that really kind of instilled that that I want to be a head coach at the collegiate level, and that's kind of why I made the move to Heidelberg when I did.
We're talking with Ned Shuck, the new coach, UW Whitewater in Wisconsin. Obvious success at Heidelberg, success at Augsburg, and prior to that, of course, you mentioned the high school coaching. Was moving from high school to the collegiate ranks as a coach always a goal?
Actually, it wasn't always a goal. I started out at college, and I wanted to grab a high school team that hadn't had a lot of success, and to build it into the dynasty and the best program in the country. And it was a great experience. I had an awesome opportunity to work with a guy like Mike Hauk, who's U.S.'s first world champion in Greco, and I just feel very blessed to have that opportunity to work with him. He's one of my best friends now, and so that was kind of the direction I wanted to go when that opportunity arose to coach at the collegiate level. It just seemed like the right fit, and it turned out really well. And I really like the collegiate level, and I think that's where I've kind of born to be, I guess.
Yeah, born to be. Let's talk a bit about your family, because you're not a single guy anymore. You've got two great kids, Lucas and Micah, 4 and 1, and Jennifer had to be behind this whole thing as well. Otherwise, it makes accepting the job that much more difficult. Talk to us about the conversation between you and Jennifer and the idea of moving.
Yeah, obviously we live 6.5 hours away in Ohio. A lot of our family's back in Minnesota, and she actually graduated college in Wisconsin system as well. So, normally I think it would be a tough move, but we knew the opportunity here at Whitewater and how awesome that was, and we actually had been able to experience the Whitewater campus a little bit, and we always said, hey, if this is a position that opens up, it's going to be something we're going to take a look at, and it happened to work out really well, and always a tough transition for her to try to find a job too, and do that, and it looks like it's pretty promising here. Hopefully in the next couple hours we'll find out where she's at with her job there, but having to leave her teaching position and all that's kind of tough. So, but transition's been good. We got everything moved in, at least in the house. The boxes are in the house, but yeah, things are going well, and it's always very important, like I said, to make sure your wife and the family are okay with the move, and that's something that we definitely had to consider.
Well, the Warhawks have had some success of their own, finished in the top 10 in Division III the last 3 years, and I got to believe they want you to build upon that. What's the team look like from your perspective at first glance?
The team looks really strong. I'm inheriting a very strong team. Obviously the success they had last year, they finished second in the country last year. Meeting with the guys during the interview process and all that was very impressive. I could see their level of commitment and what they really wanted to do, and pursuing that national championship. I know the university is behind that. Obviously, the success they've had here with the football, the baseball, the basketball programs. I mean, really everybody across the board has had a lot of success. So, we're looking to get up at that level too. We want to bring our own national championship home, and we got the guys in the room to do it. And now it's just time for us to go get after it.
In addition to your coaching duties, which obviously you embrace and do well, you're going to be an instructor for UW Whitewater's Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Coaching Department. Can you describe what those duties look like?
Yeah, I teach a couple classes, and something I'm looking forward to kind of reach out to some of the other student body, and not afraid to throw a couple of wrestling plugs in there, let them know we have our home duels and all that. But we have a couple coaching type classes and personal health and fitness type classes as well. So.
Easy guy to get behind. Ned Shuck, the new coach at UW Whitewater. He's been our guest in this segment. I want to congratulate you and thank you for your service to the Minnesota Storm Freestyle Cadet team. You also served as an assistant coach with the Ohio Cadet and Junior National team.
Yep.
How does that, and I call that more international, if you will, more international style. How does that benefit you and your coaching, and in particular your new position?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a huge benefit. That's Olympic style wrestling. That's the highest level of wrestling. So, anytime you get an opportunity to work with, the grassroots, essentially with the cadet level and the junior level, that's a great opportunity. Obviously, there's connections with that, relationships that you build with other coaches that you're working with, and which is important, incredibly important for recruiting, and obviously you start to get to know some of the kids as well, and some of the kids that you get to see a little bit more in depth with them, how they train, and what types of kids they are, and see if that's potentially a kid that you want to go after in terms of recruiting and getting your program. So yeah, it's a very valuable experience and something that hopefully at some level here in Wisconsin, I might be able to be a part of that. So we'll see.
When at Iowa, going back just a moment, when at Iowa, you were under Zaleski and Brands, is that right?
Yep, correct.
Okay, and that had to have been a positive experience, if not an intense one, but at times, I got to believe.
Yep. Yeah, no, it was incredible. I mean, I tell people that all the time. I mean, I feel extremely blessed the people I've been able to work with and to coach with and all that. But yeah, having a guy like Gable around, having a guy like Zaleski and Brands and Lincoln McRae, Joe Williams and Bill Zadek and Mike Zadek and Doug Schwab, and I mean, obviously the list goes on and on. Not even to mention the training partners. It's so. That experience that I had there was incredible, and now like I said, I feel very blessed. Now I get to pass on to the guys that I'm coaching and my experiences with them, and I think that's going to give us an edge. And so I'm looking forward to that first day of practice when we get in there and start getting after it.
Must feel good inheriting a program with the name Warhawks.
Absolutely.
And is it once a Hawkeye, always a Hawkeye?
Yeah, I think that's the case. So yeah, actually, when I was coaching in high school, we were also the Hawks at that time. So I think it's it's one of those things where it's meant to be. So
Must
I
be.
agree. Once a Hawkeye, always. So
well, Ned, it's always good to talk to you. I know you've got some people you'd like to recognize and thank. Not just for the opportunity, but those in your past and those, obviously, your new friends at UW Whitewater. Who would you like to recognize?
Yeah, first off, just the people at Heidelberg that gave me that opportunity to be the head coach. That was, can't thank them enough. Dustin Brandlinger, President Huntington, athletic director Matt Palm, and Jason Miller was the former coach. There was a big part of bringing me in. That was a great experience for me, and one that I'm very grateful for. And now at Whitewater, there's a lot of people I need to thank for that too. Amy Edmonds and Bob Lands that kind of led the charge with the search committee. Obviously, the chancellor having his hand and getting his blessing as well. But and all the wrestlers have been extremely welcoming. And like I said, timing is not the greatest, but they've been very understanding and they're excited. All the staff here at Whitewater has been very welcoming as well, and helped me learn the ropes. So I'm very grateful for all the people I have here and the knowledge that I'm going to be able to pull from.
Right.
On their experiences, and yeah, now we're all ready to go get to work and to make it happen.
Well, we want to wish you and Jennifer and the kids the best. Shirley, your team, the athletic department there has made a great hire. I'm a Ned Shuck fan, obviously, and I think I will find ways to continue that fine tradition of being a Ned Shuck fan. Congratulations, Ned. Good job out of you. Appreciate the opportunity to talk today. Thanks to Chris, your sports and information director there, and helping to make the interview possible. We surely appreciate it. I look forward to our next conversation, man. Best of luck.
Thanks a lot, Scott. Appreciate it.
He's Ned Shuck, the new head coach, UW Whitewater in Whitewater, Wisconsin. Division III power, you bet. It's only going to get better now that he's there. Ned Shuck has been our guest. I'm Scott Casper for Takedown, and thanks for watching.